Could it be the reason why people are not really tripping off this fight is because of him and his questionable personality? I think that could play a pivotal role in this. Keep in mind the last time he fought in a uh, tennis stadium. At capacity holds around 8,000 people, and he couldn't even get 2,000 people to buy tickets to come see him. They gave away just, boy, they didn't even give away tickets. They just told people coming out of a soccer game in the soccer stadium that's next door to the um, Sports Dignity Center. I think that's what it's called now, to basically just go sit wherever they wanted to sit. You have to understand this was for undisputed too. Undisputed fights are supposed to be at arenas. And here's the thing. He couldn't get people to come see him in his hometown of Houston. Because keep in mind, his fight with Castano, who was supposed to be originally in Houston, then he mysteriously had an injury. Then it got postponed. Then it got moved to the Staples Center. Then he suffered another injury mysteriously, and then they finally moved it to the Sports Dignity Center. And then nobody basically came out to watch that fight. And I think this could be spilling over to the next fight that, basically Jermell Charlo doesn't have a following because of the way he conducts himself and the way he's treated people. And I just think due to the fact that people saw him, attacking certain people in the media, threatening people, and then his attitude towards people, how combative he is when you ask him a simple question. It's just like people don't want to pay money to see this dude, and people don't like him. And the sad part about it is people from his own community don't care for him too much. While his brother is trying to repair his image with the media, you haven't seen Jermell even remotely try. You've just seen some of the things he's done and said. You just can't go around threatening people, threatening other fighters with violence and guns and all that kind of stuff. You have a different temperament towards Canelo, but then with the brothers, you popping off at the mouth. And I still haven't forgot how he conducted himself with the press conference he had going into the second fight with Tony Harrison. I just was embarrassed seeing the way both of them dudes were talking to each other. It got to the point to where they had to, cut the dudes' mics off and stuff. And the thing is, in boxing, people like to play these games and try to make it look like boxing isn't race oriented when of course it is. And I know people will say, well, they try to be neutral. I mean, come on, let's just keep it a buck. There's going to always be some kind of racial bias when it comes to boxers. Of course, I root for black fighters. I'm black, and nothing's wrong with that. Nobody's not going to make me feel guilty about it. Do I think they're going to win every outing? No, absolutely not. There's always going to be somebody, whether they're black like the other, like the person they're fighting, or not black. There's always the opportunity for them to showcase themselves, but then there's always going to be that one guy that might have your number that night and may have your number again in a rematch. You know, you may squeeze a victory out in the second fight, but who knows? They may get the best of you in the trilogy, you know? And I just think the thing is with Jermell, he just don't have a following. And he just don't have people that care for him based off the way he treat people. And I think it's just gonna be tough for him. He may be on an island of his own. And I'm sorry, I'm just the dude to say it. I heard World Combat Sports talking about this. He kind of broke this down. He kind of got the bus moving on this because a lot of people shy away from these conversations when it pertains to race. I've never been a person that have ran away from these kind of conversations because if we don't have them, it's counterproductive. People could say, oh, you're a race baiter, you fixated on race and all that kind of stuff. Just, well, whatever, man. But if you want to pretend boxing isn't race oriented, then you're a liar and you are being naive. Can I support somebody, a fighter that happened not to be black? Of course I can. But do I want the black fighters to succeed? Of course I do. And nothing's wrong with that. But then again, they only try to make black people feel guilty about being black. It's okay for a Filipino to root for Manny Pacquiao, a Japanese guy to root for Inanu, a Mexican guy to root for whatever particular Mexican fighter he's rooting for, or even a white Eastern European guy to root for another white Eastern European. And some white people will just root for a white fighter, period. But we the only ones that people try to make feel guilty. And I'm here to tell you, you're not going to make me feel guilty. And is tribalism playing a role in this fight with Canelo versus Charlo? Well, it could be, but the problem is Charlo don't have a tribe because nobody likes him. And a lot of this is to his own doing. He's done a lot of this to himself. A lot of this is because of him. He's self-destructed himself. And it's to the point to where, as you can see, it seems to be a repeat of what happened the last time. Nobody wants to pay to see Jermell Charlo fight, even against Canelo. I think it's what you call a silent protest against him. And if you talk behind the scenes, people that know boxing and understand boxing, they don't care for the guy. He just has a long paper and video trail, of him. Just certain stuff he didn't say it, calling some reporters, in particularly black media, broke and all this stuff. And like I said, when he threatened Blue Blood, just that wasn't a good look. And he still hasn't apologized to Blue Blood, which he should apologize to Blue Blood. He was saying one organization was broke and all this kind of stuff. He just said a lot of stuff. Said that we were jealous of Ellie's setback. Ain't nobody jealous of Ellie's setback. He just said a lot of things. And I just think he's not going to get the backing of the black community. Now, I'm not speaking for the entire black community. If you going to root for him because he your brother, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that. But based off the ticket sales and probably the projected pay-per-view numbers, well, I think a lot of people think like me. It's hard for me to support somebody like Jermell, especially when this dude was trying to dismiss what Deontay Wilder was talking about with racism in boxing and racism in general. But then when he felt like he got racially profiled, then he want everybody to feel sorry for him. Now, like I said, him talking about he got hitters on the payroll that'll ride for him against Deontay Wilder. Like, man, come on. Like, bro, that was just weak. It was just weak sauce. And like I said, that's just the problem with that dude. He is on an island of his own, behind the scenes, on the scenes. If you look at how people talk about him in other different videos, I watch a lot of different content, and you can just hear it in people's tone that they don't care for the dude. And he's had years to fix it, and he won't do it. He don't even want to admit that he's done nothing wrong, but then he tries to blame other people for his mishaps. Then it kind of looked like he threw his brother under the bus, turned his back on his brother and stuff. Like I said, I done just seen and heard a whole bunch of things about this dude, So based off what's currently going on, the low ticket sales, and I think it's gonna not do very well on pay-per-view. But we know the PBC love inflate numbers. And I'm not saying that I'm hoping this happens to Jermell, but I'm not surprised. Not even Canelo can carry Jermell Charlo. So that says a lot. Says a lot about his character. And I think quiet as kept, I think a lot of people is secretly rooting for Canelo to knock Jermell out or beat the hell out of him. That happened to look like him because of past incidents and quotes from him. So I just wanted to put that out there. I got to get some rest because I got to go to work in a few hours. But let me know what you think. Keep it respectful. This your boy Town. I'm out.